Now we are going to give a detailed discussion, although it's a summary at the end of this chapter between electrostatics and magnetostatics, and we would like to cover it even in more details. So, starting from here, let me write electrostatics, and here let me write magnetostatics. Now we will have to keep one thing in mind, that electrostatics and magnetostatics, in both we are not considering the two aspects, that is the variation in electric field with respect to time. We are not considering this thing. So they are, electrostatics mean time independent, and our charge at rest, charge is not moving in time. And here we don't consider this thing magnetostatics, like magnetic field is not varying in time. So we will have to keep these two things in mind here. So starting from this one, electrostatics, it's basically a table given at the end of this chapter, and we are going to discuss that one. Here we are having the source is charge, and here the source is also charge, but this charge is in motion. So we say that the source is charge per unit time here, or we call this is current. So current is basically the source here which we are considering. Then when there is a source, then the source is having means some charge distribution of this, or a charge. So electric field lines will diverge from this, and the volume charge distribution, rho and rho times volume, or d tau, will give us the charge, the fraction of charge dq. When we will integrate this one, we will get the total charge, which is q here. So when there is rho, the electric field is diverging from this charge. So originating from the charge and going till the infinity. And this is the situation of a monopole. And when we are having two charges, whether the two charges are plus plus, or minus minus, or minus plus, usually we call this situation a dipole. But even if we consider the plus plus or minus minus situation, then the electric field lines are not straight anymore, they are being curved. They are here is just like they are converging to each other. In the other two situations, they are diverging from each other. So this is the situation of, all this situation is of a dipole. Here we don't have any magnetic single charge or monopole, and the the current loop is considered is a dipole. Or if we consider the south and north pole, then the lines are entering from north to south. So they are curved lines, they are converging lines, they are not the diverging lines. And the situation here is of a dipole. But here a dipole, although in magnetic field, magnetic poles are considered south and north, but those are not the pole impair. Define the dipole is the current carrying loop is a dipole, a radius R and current I is flowing in this, so it is defined as a magnetic dipole. So we have this is the situation. So whatever the situation of a dipole, there is of a dipole here, the lines are converging, and now this row will allow us a diverging electric field. Divergence of E equals rho over epsilon naught. If I write it like this, 1 over epsilon naught and rho, then it is comparatively more meaningful when I will discuss it with that. Like these are the different analogies we are discussing. Similarly, the cross product of the cross, the curl of electric field is the electric field lines are diverging. They are going in straight line, so they are not curling. And this cross, the curl is equal to 0. So electric field lines are curling and they are not diverging. They are curling, they are diverging from a single charge, they are going in a straight line, so their curl is equal to 0. When I come to the magnetic field, then inside the magnetic field, the magnetic monopole doesn't exist and there is no divergence of the magnetic field. Like single charge is not there, so there is no divergence. Here is a divergence. The lines are there and they are straight line from the charge, the source. And further, this says that del cross E, del cross B, the curl of magnetic field is equals to mu naught and J here. Now look here, the some similarities here. Divergence of E 1 over epsilon naught in rho, the source, like volume charge distribution and volume charge, and the curl is 0. Now if I come here, the divergence and curl are interchange here. So here divergence there is 1 over epsilon naught times rho, divergence here is 0, curl there is 0, divergence here is 0. And when I come to the curl here, to the cross, the curl of B, then it is like the divergence there. So over there is 1 over epsilon naught, 1 over permittivity. As I have explained this thing many times, the electric and magnetic field situations are different. So the curl of magnetic field over there is 1 over epsilon naught, so here it is mu naught, and then the source of the electric field, and here the source of magnetic field. And now let's come to another situation. This curl of E is 0 just gives us the indication that this electric field is the result of something which is going in a straight line, like gradient, because it is not curling. So this implies that this electric field is the gradient of something, which is this is the gradient, so gradient is to be of the scalar and del v, and there is a minus sign here, and the minus sign is due to the reference, because the reference, when we consider that when the electric field will do work, it will be considered as positive. When we will do work against the electric field, it will be considered as negative. So due to that reference situation, we will have to put negative sign there. And now come back here. Divergence of B is 0, and this compels us to write the potential for this one, that magnetic field is the result of something which is curling, that's why its divergence is equal to 0, and this implies that B is written as the curl of its potential, and here the potential is a vector potential. At this moment, I will not discuss the gauge freedom and the Coulomb gauge because we have already discussed those things. So we have the situation here is del cross A and this. Now look here, when this is del V, then the Gauss's law becomes from this one, the divergence of, and for E I write minus del V, and this is 1 over epsilon naught times rho. So this implies that minus del dot del will become del square and V equals 1 over epsilon naught times rho, or this implies that del square, this implies that del square V equals minus 1 over epsilon naught and rho with this. And this we call is the Poisson's equation. So the Poisson's equation, del square 1 minus 1 over epsilon naught in rho here. So let's come here. If I have this situation, then what about del cross B? Del cross for B I write del cross A, and then this is equal to the gradient of divergence of A minus del square A. So this implies that the divergence of A, the gauge, the Coulomb gauge that we are having, divergence of A is 0. A is also going or curling, so its divergence is 0 in the Coulomb gauge. We have discussed this thing. So this implies that minus del square A is equal to minus del square A is equal to mu naught J. And I can write this thing. So this will become the Poisson's equation, del square A equals minus mu naught times J. And this is analogous expression to this one, because del square of the electric potential is equal to the negative of its source. Del square of the vector potential or the magnetic potential is equal to the negative of its source. 1 over epsilon naught there, so mu naught will be here. And this is the Poisson's equation in case of magnetostatics. So we have, after this, that here we write V, or we determine V at any observation point R equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught and integral. So we have the source here, and the source is rho here. So rho d tau, rho, where is rho? At r prime, and over r minus r prime, the difference vector here, or we write it as a tilted vector r, and here will be d tau prime. And now, what will be the magnetic vector potential here? The magnetic vector potential A at point R, the observation point R, is equal to 1 over phi will remain the same. So 1 over phi is the same. For 1 over epsilon naught, as usual, we will have mu naught in the numerator. So this is mu naught over 4 pi. The 4 pi is the same, and then integral, we have the source is j of r prime, and then d tau prime, and here r the difference vector r minus r prime here. So this is the magnetic potential there in the electric potential here. So we have the values or the equations like this. The other thing that we can mention here is the force. So the force here for electrostatics, the force is equal to charge time the electric field. And this force here, I can write that the force here is QV cross B. It's a curling force. It's a cross product, means rotating force here. And if I write this V is distance over time, then Q over time will become current, and this is equal to I in dl cross B. It can also be written in this form. So the force over there, it's a rotational force there, and here is a translational force. So electrostatics basically is related to the translational dynamics here. This is the electrostatics. This is basically the translational, related to the translational dynamics, or it behaves like a translational dynamics, and magnetostatics behave like the rotational dynamics. In addition to this one, we can discuss the energies in both system, like the electrostatic field and magnetostatic field. We can write the energies. The energy here, the energy in electric field or electrostatic field, E is equal to half epsilon naught in integral E square of the electric field in d tau. Now the same energy here in a magnetic field, in magnetostatic field, UB is half is there, is it is epsilon naught in the numerator, so we will have 1 over mu naught. We will have mu naught in the denominator, and then this is E square there, so B square will be here, and d tau. So this is another analogous equation to that one. We can write them in integral form as well, but the table is discussing them only in the differential form, so I have discussed them in the differential form. And I hope that this clarifies the difference between these time independent electric and magnetic fields, or electrostatics and magnetostatics.